Hi, everyone. Welcome to Nurturing Know-How. My name is Holly. I'm the children's librarian at the Central Library of Santa Barbara. And we have Ajani from Baby Sign with us today. He is fluent in ASL, but he also teaches a lot of Baby Sign, which is pretty different. So he's going to tell us a little bit about using that, and we're really excited to have him. So Ajani, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. So my name is Ajani Edwards. And first of all, thank you for the Santa Barbara Public Library, and thank you, Holly, for having me here. And yeah, as she said, I'm an ASL interpreter for the Santa Barbara School District. And basically what I was just doing was American Sign Language. So that's not what we're here for. That was just to show you a little glimpse on what you're not gonna be doing. So we're actually going to be talking about the know-hows of baby sign. And that's obviously reflecting what the baby should be doing and nurturing. And well, first of all, congratulations to any new parents or guardians. And we will get straight into our little, let me see. I have a little slideshow for you. So first we're going to start off with a little icebreaker. Okay, so right now take 1 minute and think to yourself, who was your first teacher? Feel free to put it in the chat. You can keep it in your head. It's up to you. First teacher. See somebody put in the chat. Oh, somebody already answered it correctly. And that's to us, so you don't see it. So I'll give you some more time. All right, 10 more seconds. Who was your first teacher? And remember, you can type it in, you can keep it in your head. All right. Your parents or guardians. A few of you answered correctly. A lot of people don't realize that our parents were our first teachers and not our school teachers. But when you hear teacher or see teacher, you think, oh, school. But what happened to before school? Our parents, educated us, bonded with us before we got into school. And that's usually around, let's say, 4 or 5 years old when you either go to preschool or kindergarten. But what happens before the 5 years? So that's what's critical, the parents or guardians. The first 5 years, I believe a few of you might know about the first 5, which is talk, read, and sing. We definitely recommend that. Actually, more than baby sign. You're talking at home, use your language, English or Spanish, whatever language, keep talking. We actually recommend talking more. Singing and reading. This is the size of the brain, anybody's brain. But right now, let's focus on the baby's brain. So if you notice on the left side, you see that more analytical, science, math, logic, facts. We don't expect babies to know that yet until they get into the school. But on the right side, if you notice some of these words like rhythm, like music, like a beat. Remember, the first 5 years, you're singing, you're playing music, you're reading. Your baby might be using paint. That's arts. Your baby's working that right side of their brain. Visualization, feelings. This is a critical fact that babies mirror. They mirror what they see. So let's say your baby's right in front of you. If you smile, your baby's gonna smile. So you definitely mirror what you want to see out of the little ones. Imagination from the reading. What I do when I read, I especially when a character is saying a quote, I change my voice. I have a higher pitch. That's enhancing that imagination. Right now I'm reading a book with my kids, Pinocchio, because I want to show them the film. So they've been very into that. So having that imagination. Now we're going to talk about signed languages. Just like how in the beginning I was using American Sign Language, ASL, sign languages are the same as spoken languages like English and French or Spanish. It has its own syntax, grammar, and art form. Other languages sign, British Sign Language, French Sign Language, and Mexican Sign Language. And ASL is the third most studied language in the United States. However, remember, we're not focusing about language and a bunch of signs. So I'm gonna keep my hands here so I'll stop signing. So what we are doing is baby sign. Just like what we said before, it's not a language, it's more of a communication tool, developmental tool. And it transitions, a lot of people think it transitions into ASL. Oh, I'm signing, so maybe I'm doing baby sign, so they're gonna know ASL. Nope. What you're using at home, the first language, it's transitioning into that. So if you're using French, if you're using Spanish, talking, then it's going to transition into the spoken language that's used at home mostly. Obviously, this is more for hearing babies and not deaf babies or children with deaf adults, because if it's a household with sign language, obviously the first language is going to be American Sign Language or British Sign Language if you're in another country or so. Misconceptions and myths, and some facts to follow. The number one misconception, speech delays. It's natural to have this misconception. It's actually human to have this common misconception, because you think, oh, they're using their signs, so they're not going to talk. That's totally acceptable, but it's actually false. Baby sign actually exposes your little ones to more speech and verbal languages because they're developing that right side of their brain before the left side is ready for their education in school. I always wondered why schools start at, let's say, 4 years or 5 years if they didn't get any education before. So remember, parents and guardians, the number one teacher to kind of transition our little ones to that education. Second myth is just a fad. Oh, this is just happening now. It's the cool thing to do, but it's actually over 100 years old for the baby sign. And I believe ASL is 200 years old. But guess what? If there were babies, there were baby sign. So I'm pretty sure it just goes from existence. Because when we don't have our voice box, our larynx, we don't have that developed yet, but we can move our hands. That's what baby sign is. This is baby sign. This is baby sign. This is baby sign, just pointing. So what I was doing before, even this, a lot of you may know this as more. This is not baby sign. This is baby sign for more. Kicking of the feet might be baby sign for more. Every baby is different. So it's up to you as the guardian or parent to know that, oh, what are they connecting to that? What did we talk about? What's the context, the situation? They just ate food and they kicked. Maybe they want some more. You can sign more to them. This is the ASL sign for more. But what they just signed, that's their more. We'll get more back into that. Another misconception is time. Oh, it's a lot of time. Guess what? Less than 5 minutes a day. You can strategize it to just story time. You can meal time or bath time. Or I recommend just whenever you remember to do it. Just when you remember. It's like, oh yeah, he told me about more and I have extra cereal, or the baby looks like it needs some more. Oh, did this or she did this. So less than 5 minutes a day. I mean, 5 minutes, yeah, 5 minutes a day. And this varies if you're just starting out versus if you're into 1 year of baby side. So if you're in 1 year, you can increase that 7 minutes, 10 minutes. And obviously you don't have to record it. It's just the amount of time. I usually go by one sign equals 1 minute. I don't know sign language. Well, we basically answered this already because you don't need to know sign language because we're not interpreting anything. You're just feeding off of what the baby's giving you. And remember, I'll show you a few signs. It's around 5 signs you need to know. And obviously sign language is endless. So you don't have to know all of the signs in a dictionary. You just need to know 5 signs to start. The less you know, the better. It sounds a little weird to say the less you know, the better. But I was thinking today, similar to like a sponge, if you put water in a sponge, it'll soak up. That's what we think about kids and little ones. But if you put too much water, then it'll start dripping. Talk, sing, read more than you sign. So that's what I'm saying. The less you know, the less baby sign you know, the better, because you should be talking, reading, and singing more. My baby doesn't sign. Let's say you've tried this out for a week or 2 or a month and the baby's not signing. Trust me, your baby is signing. If the baby can move his or her arms or legs or eyes, all of those key things are signs. Like even moving up like this is a baby sign. And you'll see that in a video shortly. So, and let's say your baby did sign one sign for more. And then maybe the baby didn't sign it again, and that's totally fine. That's at some point, the baby will connect it, and it's like, wait, I know you know what I'm thinking, so you need to give it to me already. And usually babies have needs and wants, and that's all. I want milk. Oh, sorry. Am I okay? Sorry for the babies who are around. I want, am I okay? I want potty. Maybe along the way, I want to take a bath, but babies don't care about baths. That's up to the parents. Give me a bath. I don't bathe myself. And more, of course. The babies always want more. Nearly all babies use baby sign to find motor skills are developed before the verbal skills. Obviously, if there's a baby who has maybe can't move their arm, it's a little bit difficult. So obviously you're gonna have to adjust some way where you're not using, I don't recommend it because you don't want the baby to hurt themselves. Number one thing is safety. And I will say this again, we don't move our baby's hands and legs, face to do a sign accurately. Because remember, it's baby sign, not parent sign, not adult sign. The baby signs it, it's correct. I always like to think of the customer as the baby's always right. Here we go. Benefits of baby sign. Communicating early, because they develop so much of the right side of their brain with just communication, understanding their parents or guardians, that bond is getting stronger. It increases their self-esteem and confidence, especially, and it leads into our next social skills. So when they get a little older, toddlers, or even if they're maybe even 3 or 4 already. Some people start late, that's totally fine. But usually when the little toddler gets their voice box in, they actually drop baby sign because I can talk now. You got me ready for when my voice box came in. So that's really the goal. The goal is not for them to learn sign language or continue baby sign. It's actually just to get them ready for when their voice box comes in. And another benefit, but to learning baby sign before they can talk is if the little one has any kind of dormant special needs, it assists in increasing the success of having that special need. So if they what if they are deaf? That'll help. That's the number one thing, because usually deaf kids, they need sign language, and it wasn't always like that in the past, unfortunately. But let's say they had another special need. It actually assists them in just living an independent life. And I've worked with a few adults that actually started with baby sign because of the parents, and they ended up having special needs, which leads to a more successful life as an adult. Increase in IQ scores. Having more success in school means more independence when you're, the higher middle school, high school, and college. Better sleep habits, number one, because they can communicate with their parent or a guardian. You sleep better. I mean, there's not a lot of stress in the day. I mean, as an adult, we know that we have stress in the day. We might not be sleeping well. We might not have a lot of hours to sleep. But because of baby sign and the communication, the baby is more calm, relaxed throughout the day. So of course they're going to sleep better. And it usually gets rid of terrible twos. Terrible twos. I actually have 4 little ones myself, and it's only my last one that's exhibiting a little bit of a terrible two. So that's some good odds. three out of 4. All right, so let's show you some baby sign. I'm gonna show you the video first, and then we're gonna talk about it. Try to pay attention to the things. Nayeli, would you like some more? Would you like some more? More? Yes. More. Good job. Okay. So hopefully you notice a few things. I'll play it again. I'll talk about it and then play it again, because sometimes you have to slow it down to see it. And my eyes I have deaf eyes. If you might not know what that means, but I can see things quicker than an average person, because that's my job to see if people move their hands and what they're saying. So why do babies sign? Fine motors. They know how to move their fine motors before they develop their verbal skills. And they have that natural desire to express what they want and need by moving their hands. I want that. They might move their body up like this young one did. If you notice, I'll play it again. She moves her body up as signifying, oh, I want some more. But before that, she was just looking at it like, why are you not giving it to me? It's right there. So she noticed, she connected. The person's not giving it to me, and I'm right here. You just gave it to me before, so let me do something. Yeah, I want that. And then after, see, the person accepted that for, oh, you want some more. So gave it to the little one. We didn't wait for a sign. Well, actually, it was a sign, but we didn't wait for this. She exhibited that already. And it increases that bonding. So I'm gonna play this again for you so you can notice that the baby did movement like this. Yes, I want some more. Maybe that was more of like a head nod. Yes, but it's not, the neck might not be fully developed to do the yes yet. So she moved her whole body. Yeah. All right, I'll play it again. Nayeli, would you like some more? Would you like some more? More? Yes. More. Good job. If you noticed, you actually did something like this for a yes. So maybe they were practicing yes as well as more. Some you will miss a few things. And there's going to be another video where parents miss some signs. It can lead to frustration, and that's why babies cry. Because they were trying to communicate with you and you weren't picking up on it. That's why they cry. So if that happens repeatedly, then that's when the sleep patterns get off track. It's like, oh, I had so much stress in the day. My mom wasn't paying attention to me. My dad too. So I'm gonna wake them up at 3 a.m. You get the connection now, right? Okay. Beginner's tips. This is for beginners. If you're already experienced, I'll have a chart for you for different ages of the little ones. So ask simple yes or no questions. Obviously, that's the opposite for when they get older. We want to not ask simple yes or no questions. You want to ask more WA. What, where, when they get into school. So for now, as babies, simple yes or no. You want some more? You want some more food? Target signs. Obviously, if you're working on more, you want to sign more. If they're signing anything, if they're tapping on the table, that's their sign for more. But it's up to you to connect it to the situation. So if they do this, and then you say, oh, is dad home? That's not a good connection. So if they do this and you're feeding them some cereal, maybe that means more. And I would test it out for, like, if you have cereal for them, or looks like some cereal or some milk, am I okay? Take it away for them and like use that as a testing moment. Oh, you want some more? Sure. And don't expect them to catch on immediately. Give them some time. Be their voice. So answer back what you assume, what you think they are saying, because remember, they can't talk yet. So if they start hearing what they said or are thinking, that's gonna increase their knowledge on that left side of the brain for when they can talk. Because they're like, wait, I was talking already, but you were my voice. Including in conversation is critical. Like, let's say they're at the dining table and you're talking about how your day was. Include them in that. Even if they're in your arm, even if they're like 2 months or 1 month, include them in a conversation like they're a toddler already, like even like they're an adult. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know that we don't do the goo goos and gagas anymore. maybe grandma and grandpa. Let's save that for them. But at home with their immediate family, even include any sitters or nannies, include them in some of these signs and ideas and conversations. Include them and include the little ones. Have those items handy, just like I said. If you say, would you like some more cereal, or am I okay? And they say yes, and you don't have any more, that doesn't make sense to them. So you're not going to connect that more sign because they didn't get any more. Praising the child. We do this for praising because we do a visual, because babies, they see it visual, but we also do an auditory as well. So we say, yay, you did it. And you notice how my pitch went up? Babies pick on that high pitch. You don't want to be too low for a baby. So now we're going to go to communication that was missed. And this usually leads to some crying. So I want you to test this out. The next time you kind of think your baby's about to cry, try to just watch them. Just choose a point to just watch your baby. See what they're doing before the cry. Sometimes it's tough because when they're crying, it's like, oh, I missed something. But it'll take some time. You just have to allot yourself 2 minutes just to watch the baby. Maybe just stand aside watching them. See what they're doing with their motor skills, their feet, their head, their arms and hands and fingers. So I'm gonna show you this one, that's communication that was missed. And try to look at the environment, what's around, that it couldn't have been this or that.
To Esna's birthday party.
What do you think I'm saying?
I'm telling you. Whoa. Bless you. Whoa. Yes, be careful, okay? Baby's on the floor right here. Okay, so be careful. Gosh, you have really sticky, dirty hands. Please. Come here. Let's clean up your hands. Come here. Let's wipe your
All right. All right, get that. Oh, sorry. All right, so we're back. So communication missed. So you might have noticed the sign for MLK, MILK. And once again, I don't say that word, but just in case a baby might be listening in, similar to the DOG when you say WALK, it's a critical sign that might get the animals going. So you notice that in this left side, looks like a diaper was changed. And the little one was signing something like this, which usually resembles MILK. We don't know what that parent was or guardian was doing with that little one, but usually this is MILK. It could have been more. It could have been babbling. There's actually babbling with babies, babble signs similar to nyam 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 nyam, just talking. Once they get that voice box to babble, nyam, nyam, this is the same. But that baby maybe ended up crying because the parent was missing out on that sign. And if you notice, right now, the little one is actually touching the mother's leg, looks like the knee. So that's like a form of communication as well. What if she was tapping it? What if that's a bonding moment that was missing out on, that you could have touched her foot? So little things like that, try to pick up. We know that most likely they didn't need to go to the bath, get their potty changed, because you see that diaper there. All right, so now let's see the opposite of you caught a sign.
Yeah, milk. Yeah, milk. Milk.
All right, so with this one on the right side, when we acknowledge it, you notice that the little one, well, signed MILK as well. And if you notice, the mother was expressing happiness. And remember that the babies mirror us. So because of the happiness, the baby connected that. They did something correct, successful. The parent smiled, and the baby smiled back and even moved. It's excitement. I'm gonna show you that to you again, the excitement. Sometimes it's just not the sign, it's just the movement. So I'll give you the cue when the excitement comes. All right. Right now, check the excitement, that movement, that maybe I did it, Mom. So definitely pay attention to that. And that's a praising moment. Yay, you did it. We always want to praise. All right, so these are the stages of baby sign. We recommend 3 months. We don't want to be putting a bunch of signs in a little one's face too early. So once you realize that their eyes are stabilized, they can see from a good enough distance. I'm not sure if a lot of you know, but the babies usually see that parent that they're always with first. And their eyes, they don't have that distance yet to see the papa or the other guardian until, I mean, they would have to get close because it's almost like you went to the eye doctor and your vision is blurry, but you can see right in front of you. So definitely around the 2-3 month range, it's a good time to have a calm start. So remember, you don't need to learn American Sign Language. You just need to know a few signs. A calm start, more. A lot of you know this, but remember, this could be more for the baby, the tapping. So it's up to you to figure that out. But you have to exhibit the actual sign for more to the baby. And then they might transition to the actual sign. Because some babies sign it like this. So all done. But for all done, I always like to have a positive, high pitch. All done. Positive aspect. And we'll get to positive yes and no. I don't usually like to say the no word, especially with new ones growing up, and you'll see why later. Mom and dad. The critical ones to start with. Potty, maybe 7 months and every baby's different. So you can start with the second batch of signs in the first stage. It's up to the baby and you. The touch sensory, you notice right below it, says touch sensory. That's something that you don't like see in books or DVDs. We created the touch sensory. So when you sign mom, you touch the baby's chin with your less dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you touch the baby's chin with your left hand. But they're also seeing you sign it to yourself. So it's almost like, am I signing that? So that's almost like you're being their voice with baby sign. Obviously, you want to do a soft touch. You want to be gentle because safety is still number one. And for dad, the same thing. But you don't want to get in their vision, their way of vision. So you want to kind of go around and touch them. You don't want to get in their vision, especially they're still developing their eyes. So if you have little ones that's already in the 7-10 month and you have started already, and usually, remember, babies are already signing. So you probably picked up on some of their signs for more or MILK, but a lot of people know this for MILK. But let's say you're ready for the next stage. So potty, the T hand shape, back and forth. So it's not a twisting, it's just a back and forth, side to side. You can go fast like this. And when we do that, we do have the touch sensory as well. So you want to touch their potty, their diaper while you're doing this. And some babies, a lot of babies, after a while, they'll start touching their diaper when they're wet, and a few before their wet potty, but they don't control that just yet. And that'll be great when they start to become potty trained because they're as toddlers, they'll touch their potty like I went potty. And that's before they're talking. So maybe 10 months, 11 months, because they get their voice box around that 12-month, 11-month mark, where they can just tell you, I went potty. Animals, a lot of you may have pets. Feel free to give the animal a sign. Dog is usually a pat on the leg. Cat is the whiskers. And you could use those signs in stories that you tell that have animals in it as well. You could branch out to more family members when you get to this next stage. And we have a card with all the vocabulary, but that's just too much to overwhelm right now. So just start out with these few signs. And when the 1 year mark, any words or concepts. But remember, the frequency, 2 to 3 signs for if you're 1 year and are experiencing baby sign already. But if you're just starting out, like a few of you, 1 sign, 5 minutes a day. Just 1 sign in a sentence. So not 1 sign, 5 minutes a day with just that 1 sign. It could be different signs, like my example below where you voiced, would you like more food? So would you like more food? More? Maybe say that keyword again, more. And then later, sign mom. Mommy. Remember that sensory? Mommy. And we're mirroring our little ones. And third language so early, around the 3 to 6 months, I don't recommend it. And remember, they have that first language at home, which might be English or Spanish. So let's say you're a Spanish speaker at home and you want to learn some signs. That's actually, just more, más. So they still have to hear just talk normally. Don't change your wordage, your syntax, don't change that. Keep it how it is. You're just saying that word, más. The kid is más. So sorry, I don't speak Spanish. So hopefully I said that right. Would you like some more food? But when they get to, let's say, 7, 10 months, then you can add a third language. It's recommended even later, 11 months, but feel free to start out 7, 10 months because they've had a good amount of time learning those base languages, those base signs, and they've heard that language so much. 1 year, you're very experienced, you can add more words, 3 words, 6 words, less than 15 minutes a day. That's when the child's already speaking. And usually when they're 1 year, 2 years, they don't even sign anymore because the goal is actually to get them to talk more, to talk in a sentence structure. That's why at the top of this one right here, you'll notice English word order. So we're not signing, would you like some more anymore? That's when we're on, do you want some more? So do you want some more? So that's when we're adding more, and it doesn't have to be the English word order. It could be that language that you were speaking at home, that dominant language, Spanish or French. All right. Let's see. So the strategies and techniques, just like the home language, the baby sign, you add that baby sign, use the frequency chart. Feel free to take a snapshot of this if you want to keep it for later. And I believe this is going to get posted on YouTube if you happen to miss it or step away, but you're listening to us. Sensory prompts, the sight. Babies have to see, babies have to hear, and they have to feel that emotion, that touch. So remember, not all signs, if you notice over here where it says mom, you notice this little asterisk? That's when you use the sensory touch. So for more, we're not using that sensory touch. We're using the sight. So not all signs are touch. If you notice bath, has the asterisks as well, and you're thinking, how do I do that? For when they're taking a bath, they're ready, let's say on a little area to get changed before the bath, touch them with the two fingers, index and middle, along their chest. Remember, because they're a little small, and this is around the 7-10 month. You can even do it earlier. 6 months is fine. 3 months too early for bath.
Does that remind them of getting washed with a washcloth? Is that the?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. And they're feeling it. They're like, oh, I usually get wiped, and usually bad time is a happy time. Feel free to use that for your signing time. You don't have to use it all throughout the day, but I would recommend just whenever you remember it. Just whenever you remember it. Be 4 times a day. You remember to sign more? Or mom, or dad, or milk? Am I okay? All done? Like, you might even do it just every time it happens. So it might not be one time a full minute. It might be 10 seconds, and it all adds up to less than 5 minutes a day. And remember, the goal is for them to speak that language, that language at home. The goal is not to make them use sign language, but you never know. What if they are deaf? They do get tested before, but some babies actually get sick. Even when they're toddlers of 1 year, they get meningitis, and then they lose their hearing. But if you already had a step up on signs, maybe you'll pick up some more signs. Oh, good thing we already started this. You never know what can happen, especially nowadays with what's going on.
As far as the third languages, for the families that are bilingual and speak English and Spanish in the home, does that mean that they should choose either English or Spanish and only do sign with one of them, or that they should wait until the 7-month mark to do any sign?
I would, since let's say I like that idea. If you're already doing multiple language at home, I recommend only 2. It's very complicated to do 3. But if you're already doing it, guess what? It's just interchangeable. So if you're already doing English and Spanish, they already have that foundation to add baby sign. It's just like the same thing. So instead of adding baby sign, let's say, but they're still not fully ready for that if they're 3 to 6. So let's say they're 7 to 10 and they've been getting that English and Spanish, or even 1 year getting that English and Spanish, ready for baby sign immediately. Ready for baby sign. But once they get that box, that voice box, I don't need to sign anymore. I can tell you what I want. Can you give me that? And that's what babies do when they've mastered a sign. They'll start dropping the signs because they're ready for it. Why are you holding it away from me? You know what I want. So there comes a time where you don't want to hold it back too long. So you got to gauge that. We went over safety already, so we're not holding their hands to do a sign correctly, because they're always correct. It's just up to you to sign it correctly. Either I will give you actually it's right here. So vocabulary, handspeak.com/kid/ASL, good vocabulary list and 3D signs. I don't recommend looking at a dictionary book because it's 2D. You can't see the depth. So sometimes somebody will be signing and they'll move so you can see what's on the other side. And have fun, definitely. Always have fun.
Yeah, it is really fun to do all the signs together and see them pick up on it. I have a follow-up question in the chat based on what I had asked earlier. So in a bilingual home, could you sign with just one language from the beginning? I.e., if one parent speaks Spanish and the other English, would you recommend making the language, one of those languages, either English or Spanish, the signing language? So they choose either English or Spanish to do the more with, or what have you.
Interchangeable, because they probably, depending on the age, obviously. So I would recommend to add that third language around the 7, 10 month, because they've been hearing it for a while. 3 months, they're probably not ready for 3 languages. That's a bit too advanced. Very similar to just overwhelming them with 15 signs when they're not ready for that. So definitely depends on the age. So let's say you're 3 to 6 months, maybe not ready for a third language. Just keep speaking the two languages at home. Two languages at home. But let's say they're the 7 to 10 months. They've had a good grasp on those two languages.
So you could do both more and mom interchangeably.
Yes. And I would say go back to the calm start. So don't go back into doing the advanced. Start slower. Even though they're in that 7 or even 1 year, start slower. Go all the way back and build it up, because you might overwhelm them. And when you overwhelm them, that's adding the stress, which is the opposite of what we want. All of my kids slept through the night. Well, actually, my first baby, my son, he was the crier. But guess what? We overwhelmed him. It was our first baby. Why did the hospital let us leave with this guy? I didn't know what to do. Baby sign is usually for first-time parents. Usually when a parent has 2 children, 3 children, I don't even recommend it. You've been through it before. You know what the babies want. You know their needs. First-time parents are the key. Any more questions before I bring up the slide again?
I don't have any more in the chat.
All right. Well, feel free to add some more questions while I bring up the slide, because I'm going to talk about tips, tricks, and treats. And it kind of works out with our little holiday coming up soon. So before they cry, observe them. And it's not easy. I mean, when a baby cries, you missed it. So it's kind of what we went over already. How to avoid no, a critical one. This is a good trick. Obviously, we don't want to expose them to no often by, let's say, people saying no in the household. So that might be tough with toddlers already in the house. But let's say you're starting out. This is your first baby, first child. So if they hear it, you're going to say it eventually. But let's say you have to say no. There's a critical time where I recommend saying no with a face to let them know that you're hurting. And moms know about this because they're biters sometimes. So you don't want to be smiling saying no when they're biting you when they're nursing. You want to show them that you're sad, that wasn't nice. So that's a critical time that I would recommend saying no to try to stop them from doing that. Because some little ones always bite. But let's say they're already 1 year old, 2 years old. Might be too late for a 2-year-old, because that's usually with the toddlers, the terrible 2 stage. But let's say they're 11 months, 1 year old. No, thank you. No, thank you, right here. No, thank you. You're ending it with a positive reaction, and you're also smiling. No, thank you. Or the yes trick. This is a good one, yes trick. So let's say you gave your 1 year old a cookie already. I want another cookie. Can I have some more? You can have some more. You just have to wait till tomorrow. You didn't say no. You just used a trick. Problem is, they're gonna get smarter with that left side. So they're gonna catch on. You're tricking me. You're saying no without saying it. But they didn't hear it, so they're not gonna say it as much. And that kind of assists in lowering the odds of a terrible 2. And we do have free door hangers coming to the library soon. So in October, maybe the end of the first week, second week, feel free to pick one up. This is a great thing to have for new parents. Put it on the door. Back then, when we had our son, bam, 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 male guy wakes up the baby, and or for maybe the grandparents to know not to come in your nursing or something. Great tool to have to be quiet. And feel free, if you want private sessions, half off right now. We have DVDs to use one-on-one as well. And we do donate to deaf and hard of hearing organizations in our website, babyscience-sessions.com. I'll leave this up for a second, and I'll also go back to the little, what is it, the chart. So if you wanted to take another snapshot of that.
Yeah, there's some great recommendations. First signs. The library owns some of the signing time DVDs. Are there any other resources you would recommend?
There was a website on there.
Mhm.
A good resource besides me is the library, obviously, that has the signing time DVDs. I do not recommend books. I recommend books for the parents to read, to get that understanding, but not books to teach you. You have to experience it. And when you have a DVD, you're kind of experiencing it. And I do recommend Baby Signing Time. I love how it's short, it's not too long, because you don't want the baby to get so much exposure to television or tablets. This day and age, a lot of people are having it. So let's keep the baby not exposed too much, maybe 4 times a week with low exposure. I believe it's like 20 minutes. Yeah. And I'm around Santa Barbara. I live in Santa Maria now, but I do work in Santa Barbara for the school district, so feel free. I'll be at the library sometimes when you're open up from the COVID.
Yeah, Santa Barbara's a kind of small town feel sometimes, so I'm sure we'll see you around. So I guess a quick review for everybody. Some of the ones that I remember that you went over today was the more. That's one of the first ones you want to teach.
More.
And the milk, which is like squeezing your hand. There we go, squeezing your hand, right? And then the toilet one. That is the potty one for a little bit later.
Potty is like 7 months.
Yeah.
And on, but remember, everyone's different. So babies might be advanced. So you got to show it. So this is like you're looking at the tea, but turn it around, show it. Potty. MOM, mom, dad. Remember the sensory, and you don't want to block a face to do it. For the dad, you won't be blocking the eyes because the mom is below, but for the dad, you might block it. So kind of go around it, and they'll feel it. They might think that, wait, I'm signing this, you're doing it, and I'm doing it. And at some point, you might see your little one, something will click. You'll see it in their eyes. Try to pay attention. That's a milestone. Definitely celebrate milestones. I even saw a milestone when your baby has its first blowout. That's a milestone. That was kind of interesting. So celebrate any little milestone. That positive, activity is amazing for little ones.
Yeah.
See, so any more? So we did all done.
Yeah, all done. I did not see you do the eat one, but I see that around a lot, the eating sign.
So that's later.
That's later. Okay.
Because it's usually the MILK, and then the 7 months, you still have the MILK, and you can start adding that vocab. Remember, we don't want to overwhelm. So eating and MILK, same concept. So we don't want to add that just yet. So, but if they're ready for it, if you're already doing it, continue. And remember, they're always correct. You're actually, this is my sign, baby sign. So
yeah,
just
I really like the whole like not correcting them kind of mentality of like notice what they're doing to mean the sign and take that to be what they mean. But would you say if a child is always doing this for more, should the adults still be doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So show them the actual American Sign Language sign, not American Sign Language, but the sign. Show them that sign. But don't say, oh, no, you're not doing it right. Oh, he's not. No, that's negative. Remember, that's stress. That's less sleep for the baby and you. So obviously, even though I had more sleep opportunities, No, I'm still doing work. Oh, I have the time. Oh, let me see. Let me pay some bills. At least you still have time to do that versus the baby's up. Let me pay some bills with extra stress. So at least you have your time. And feel free to post on Santa Barbara Library's website, oh, this is working, or go on my Facebook page, Baby Sign Sessions. Oh, this is working. Maybe even take a video. Oh, wait, what is this? They signed this. What were you doing when they signed that? So if you show me something, it's not helpful unless you have that context. What did somebody come? Did dad come? Did another kid come and view?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ajani. We learned so much.